Explain to me why the company that makes industrial hand sanitizer is suddenly buying an AI server cooling firm.
Because AI data centers run extremely hot, Ecolab knows water management. It's a brilliant synergy play.
Oh, please. It's pure narrative chasing. 550 million in projected sales doesn't magically put you in the Nvidia supply chain.
You just hate a good banker pitch. But speaking of massive numbers, Abbott officially swallows Exact Sciences today.
3 billion in projected incremental sales. I'll check those footnotes later. First, we need to talk about Grab. The rundown.
600 million in cold hard cash. That is what Grab is paying Delivery Hero for the foodpanda business in Taiwan.
Which finally pushes Grab outside their Southeast Asia comfort zone. But keep an eye on the regulatory wires. The antitrust review in Taiwan is going to be brutal. Local regulators are already pushing back.
You always ruin my cash deal excitement with regulatory reality.
Someone has to read the footnotes. Speaking of reality, can we talk about Ecolab buying CoolIT Systems? They are projecting 550 million in sales next year from liquid cooling. Suddenly, a water treatment company is an AI infrastructure play.
It is a brilliant pivot. The AI wars are spilling over into the data center cooling space. Everyone is focused on the chips, but if you cannot cool the servers, you have nothing. Ecolab saw the gap and took it. Classic picks and shovels strategy.
Oh, come on. It is a pure buzzword premium. I looked at CoolIT's historicals. Hitting 550 million means they need absolutely flawless execution on data center retrofits. They are slapping an AI label on plumbing to justify the multiple.
Spoken like a true skeptic, I am telling you, cooling is the new gold rush. Warren Buffett gets it. Berkshire Hathaway just took a 2.5% stake in Tokio Marine.
Wait, really? Tokio Marine?
Yep, strategic partnership targeting global M&A and reinsurance. Even Omaha is looking for new angles in this market.
That is actually smart. Hedge the risk while everyone else is chasing the tech multiples.
Speaking of chasing multiples, we have a literal corporate custody battle over canned fruit. The Del Monte name is getting carved up again. Fresh Del Monte Produce is paying $285 million for select assets of Del Monte Foods Corporation 2.
Corporation 2? That sounds like a terrible straight-to-DVD sequel.
It gets better. While they were sorting out the fruit, B and G Foods swooped in and bought the broth business for $110 million.
Just the broth?
Just the broth? Liquid assets, Maya?
Wow, that was a truly awful banker joke.
I know, I hate myself a little for saying it.
You should. Hold on to that shame because we need to look at a deal with actual scale. Abbott is officially closing its Exact Sciences acquisition today, and the oncology diagnostics math is wild.
3 billion in incremental sales, wild. The big one. You don't just wake up and decide to buy Exact Sciences. This is Abbott looking at the board and flipping the table.
Flipping the table, or just buying the table outright because you ran out of organic growth ideas?
Oh, come on, it's a masterpiece. They're locking down the cancer screening market. Look at the aging demographic. This is a generational play.
It's a $3 billion sales plug for 2026. That's what this is. I read through the closing docs this morning, and the word synergies is doing a tremendous amount of heavy lifting.
Spoken like a true skeptic.
I'm just reading the math. 3 billion in incremental sales sounds massive, but you have to look at what they're paying to get that revenue.
They're paying for a moat. Exact Sciences owns Cologuard. You know Cologuard, the box you poop in and mail back.
Thank you for the highly technical banking analysis, Nate.
Hey, I used to pitch healthcare deals. You have to make it relatable. But seriously, Abbott already has a massive diagnostics footprint. Now they own the most recognizable at-home cancer screening brand in the country. You plug that into Abbott's global distribution network, and it's game over for the competitors.
See, I completely disagree on the game over part. You're assuming the distribution channels are perfectly overlapping. Exact Sciences built its entire model around direct-to-consumer marketing and very specific primary care physician relationships. Abbott is a hospital and lab behemoth. That isn't a clean plug and play.
It isn't a clean plug and play, but it's the right strategic leap. Mega deals over the 1 billion mark are back, Maya. The financing window is wide open right now. And if you're Abbott, you use your paper and your cash to buy dominance.
I'll give you that the financing conditions are vastly improved. The mega deal drought is officially over, but I found a fun little footnote in the closing release.
Oh no, what did they hide?
They didn't hide it exactly, but the integration costs are quietly amortized over a much longer window than their last 3 acquisitions. They know this is going to be incredibly messy to digest.
It's like a python swallowing a whole deer. It takes time, but eventually you're the biggest animal in the jungle.
Did you just compare a life-saving oncology diagnostics division to a reptile eating a deer?
It's a great analogy and you know it. Even if it takes a while to digest, by 2026, they're adding $3 billion to the top line. That covers up a lot of integration sins.
We'll see. I just hate when companies use the word solidifying when they actually mean scrambling to protect market share.
You're ruthless today.
Just reading the fine print.
Well, speaking of scrambling for market share, we need to talk about what's happening in Taiwan. Grab is dropping $600 million in cash to take out delivery, Hero's foodpanda business.
A cash deal for food delivery in this economy? Now that's a footnote I can't wait to tear apart. Voices. I keep seeing these analyst notes claiming the AI arms race is officially spilling over into unsexy infrastructure.
Because it is. Look at Ecolab buying CoolIT Systems.
Right. But calling a water treatment company buying a server cooling firm a pure AI play feels like a massive stretch to me. They just want that $550 million in projected sales.
I strongly disagree. You cannot run these next-gen data centers without liquid cooling. Ecolab sees the writing on the wall. The financing window is wide open for mega deals right now. And if you want to be a dominant infrastructure player, you need a data center narrative.
A data center narrative. Nate, you are literally speaking in pitch deck right now.
I know, it makes me sick too. But the logic holds. The market rewards the narrative.
I just hate the AI washing. It is a good old-fashioned bolt-on acquisition, just like this private equity trend we are seeing.
You mean one equity partner snatching up London-listed Kitwave Group?
Exactly. Industry watchers are framing it as this grand strategy to drive operational efficiency in public markets. Really? It is just a sponsor finding a cheap, boring, cash-flowing food asset.
Speaking of boring food assets getting carved up, can we talk about the Del Monte family drama?
Please. I spent 20 minutes this morning trying to map out this corporate family tree.
It is an absolute mess. Fresh Del Monte Produce is spending $285 million for pieces of Del Monte Foods Corporation 2. Meanwhile, B&G Foods just runs in and grabs the broth business for $110 million.
The broth business.
Just swooped in for the broth. You know there are some petty executive fights happening behind closed doors when you are selling off the soup stock to a third party?
I would love to see the emails on that one. Almost as much as I want to see the emails between Grab and Taiwanese regulators.
Oh, the antitrust review for the foodpanda takeover? Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. Spill the tea. I just love a good custody battle over a brand name. The Del Monte family tree is basically a circle at this point.
It is a complete mess. Fresh Del Monte Produce is throwing down $285 million just to buy select assets from Del Monte Foods Corporation 2.
Plus B&G Foods swooping in to grab the broth business for $110 million. Honestly, I respect the carve-out. B&G knows exactly what they want, just the broth. Give me the liquid assets.
You respect it? It is ridiculous. They are slicing a legacy brand into so many pieces, the trademark lawyers must be billing triple overtime.
Hey, maximizing shareholder value means sometimes you sell the broth and keep the peas. It is classic sum of the parts logic.
Spoken like a true banker who wants 5 different advisory fees for carving up one food company.
Guilty as charged. But speaking of weird deal revivals, did you catch the Nubaru filing?
The defense tech firm? Yes. They suddenly resurrected that dead deal for a 70% stake in Techne, out of absolutely nowhere.
Stalled for months and then boom, reactivated. You do not just wake up and decide to buy Italian defense assets unless somebody whispered a guaranteed government contract in your ear behind closed doors.
Or they finally found financing. The filing is incredibly vague. I read the footnotes twice, and they are completely obscuring the trigger for the revival.
That is the beauty of defense deals. Everything is a national security secret when you do not want to explain your valuation model.
Well, they better hope the regulators are sleeping. which is definitely not the case in Asia right now, where the antitrust watchdogs are already circling Grab's $600 million takeout of foodpanda Taiwan. Tomorrow's radar.
I'm refreshing the Taiwan regulatory wires first thing tomorrow morning.
For the Grab and foodpanda review.
Exactly. 600 million cash for foodpanda Taiwan. Delivery Hero exits, Grab takes the market. I honestly think it clears by lunch. It's a clean geographic handoff.
You're out of your mind. Taiwanese regulators don't just rubber stamp food delivery monopolies. Local pushback is already brewing. I give it 6 months, minimum.
Spoken like a true pessimist.
Spoken like someone who reads the local filings. Meanwhile, I'm watching Nuburu. They just resurrected that 70% stake in Techni out of nowhere. The deal was completely dead.
A classic zombie deal. Somebody found a pile of cash in the couch cushions.
Or a new defense contract suddenly made the math work.
Fair. Speaking of math, tomorrow we're running the numbers on how B and G Foods bought exactly one thing from the Del Monte carve-up. They paid $110 million just for the broth business.
I have so many questions about the broth.
Keep simmering on those. See you tomorrow.